Hello and welcome to Quilt Addicts Anonymous. I'm Stephanie Soebbing. We've got some new fabulous fabric goodies to show you today. We've got some new arrivals from Dear Stella and P&B Textiles that I know you guys are going to love. We've got a whole collection of new wide backs we're going to show you at the end of the video, but right now we are going to start with the Fae from Dear Stella. I love this collection. I think you guys are going to be too. It's super feminine, but it could work for big and little girls. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So this collection was designed by Rae Ritchie, and we have had a couple of her collections in over the past few years. They've always sold really well because they're just really gorgeous, beautifully designed pieces that also are just really sophisticated in their design. She really likes to play on like nighttime. And so this one here has a bunch of moths and butterflies on it. And I really love this sort of mauvey pink green colorway. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I've been saving butterfly prints forever. Someday I'm going to make a butterfly jar quilt. I've got enough now to where I could probably make 2 queen size quilts for both of my kids. But this one's going to be saved in my stash. Next up, we have some cute little foxes and mushrooms. Mushrooms are making a comeback. Not sure why. And it definitely works with a fairy forest theme. And the colors of the fox and the mushroom coordinate beautifully with the colors of the butterflies and moths. So this fabric kind of acts like a basic, but it is part of the collection. So it perfectly coordinates with the pinky mauves that we're seeing throughout the rest of the collection, and is a great way to allow your eye to rest while you're busy looking at the other fanciful prints in the collection. Here's that same print again with a charcoal with the undertones of an olive green in it. It's really gorgeous. This one is more abstract, and it almost is Tula-esque in that we have little bits of animals throughout it. We've got outlines of foxes, what looks like an owl, some squirrels, and all throughout it are these sprigs and different leaves that you would find in the forest. Here's that same basic print that's part of the collection, this time with kind of a seafoam blue-green. It's really gorgeous, and it's going to work great with the greens that we have coming next. Here's that print that we started out with the butterflies and moss, but this time with a deep green charcoal background. It is absolutely gorgeous. I love every second of it, and this one's going in my stash. We cannot have a collection called The Fae without actually seeing some Fae. For those of you who have not read the entire Sookie Stackhouse vampire mystery novels like I have, Fae is another word for fairy. And it is really fun, and they have all different manners of little fairies with pointy ears floating around. It is not really directional because we have fairies going up, we have them going sideways, this one's kind of going upside down. They're all in different ways, so you wouldn't have to fussy cut this, but you absolutely could and do some really fun things where you have the fairies in the center of your blocks. If that's your plan, make sure you cut by extra than you need so that way you have some room for waste, but this one is really fun. We've got another forest creatures one. This one, they're a little bit bigger. And again, it's not super directional because we have foxes going different ways. We have owls going different ways, squirrels, mushrooms. Again, this one would not have to be fussy cut. You could absolutely just choose a pattern that uses the fabrics big. Up and Away is one that comes to mind. It's from my book, Fat Quarter Patchwork Quilts. It allows you to really show off your fabrics in a big way and keep them all together, and it's fat quarter friendly. But if you do want a fussy cut, again, just make sure you get extra because this is going to look like Swiss cheese by the time you're done with it. You can't go into the forest without a flannel, and we've got that here in the nice green colorway. Looks great with all this. I think this would make a great bias binding. And we are going to wrap it up with that lovely little basic, this time in that dark green. This is available on Yardage as well as fabric bundles, so make sure you head on over to our website, shop.quiltaddictsanonymous.com, to grab some for your stash. Next up, we have a really fun and feminine sewing line from Dear Stella. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. We have it available in half-yard bundles because it's so small, or you can get yardage. I personally think this would be fabulous to make a bunch of pillowcases to go on your next sewing retreat with. I personally have a bunch that come with me whenever I get to go somewhere fun that involves sewing. Let's start with this really fun one. It has old antique looking sewing machines, all different types. We look like we have a featherweight and the Singer style. And they're just so fun and so pretty, and I love this lilac and purple colorway. It's just so sweet. Sometimes when Dear Stella has a very small line like this one, what they do is they kind of fill it out with their basics. This dots one is a great one, and as you can see, it really coordinates very well with our sewing machines. Here's another one in lavender, also coordinates perfectly with those sewing machines. And these are just great to have in your stash because it gives the eye a place to rest while we're looking at the things we want to look at, like this beautiful little sewing machines. This one is so cute. It has little scenes from around the sewing studio in there. We've got buttons, we have the sewing machine again, some handmade labels, seam ripper, of course, you cannot sew with one of those, tiny little embroidery scissors, little birds just to keep it sweet. And it just is so fun and I love it, and it is just so creative and adorable. I feel like this would make the best quilty gifts for your girlfriends this winter. This yellow dot coordinates perfectly with our little yellow sewing machines. And this dot is kind of a ballet pink. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, guys, so sometimes I decide things on the fly, and I'm totally gonna make this happen, and we can insert an image of what it looks like in post-production. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have our half-yard bundles, like I said, so if you wanna make a quilt, you can just grab it and everything coordinates. But we're also gonna make up some pillowcase kits. So that way you can get what you need to have either this combination of pillowcase or this one. They'll be available as singles, and so you'll have enough to make one pillowcase. And then we have instructions and a tutorial on how to do that. You can get it all for free, the instructions and tutorial, over at shop.quiltaddictsanonymous.com. But this is the ideal pillowcase set. It looks absolutely gorgeous. You can get one of each, two of each, whatever you want to do to have a match set or a coordinated set. But this is too cute. It's adorable. It has to live its best life as a pillowcase. I'm just going to say that right now. But we'll have yardage available too. You guys can have some fun with this. All right, we're going to wrap this week's new product video up with a whole bunch of wide backs from P&B Textiles. They're fabulous. They're really cool. I think you guys are really going to like them. And I've said this before, but just in case you haven't seen any of the videos, you can save some serious dollars by getting wide backs instead of using 44-inch quilting cotton, and you don't have to sew anything to get your back together. So basically you have a 108-inch wide piece of fabric. So that gets you up to a twin in length or a king in length and width. Most twins or lap quilts are going to be a max of about 60 or so inches. So you can just get 2 yards of the wide back fabric as opposed to 4 to 6 yards for the backing fabric of the 44-inch wide cotton. That saves you about 20 bucks usually. For the king, you can get 3 yards, so it'll be a 108-inch square, and that will fit up to a 96 or 98-inch quilt top. And for that, you are going to save easily $30, $40, depending on what sort of fabric you're getting. So this is a great way to, one, not have to piece anything and just be able to quilt that top, and two, to save some money, which, let's face it, we all are looking for ways to save some money right about now. So this is a way you can get those quilts finished and still have money to pay for the quilter or the batting or just more fabric when you're done with the quilts. So we're going to take a look at these. We have several that are this design but in different colors. So depending on what quilt top it is, this might be one for you. We're going to start with this one here. It's really pretty, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. And it's super neutral. So anybody who loves black and white, like, this is a great one for you because it's going to be very neutral. Like, this would go really well in my home. Like, I'm half tempted to just cut 6 yards of this and have it be the front and back of a quilt and just do a whole cloth thing, because this would look fabulous on my bed right now. So if there's any left, I might be snagging this one because I love it. Next, we have the same design, but in more of a taupe. So if you live in the grayish world, or you still have a lot of brown in your home, this would be a really good one for a quilt back for you. This is the exact same print, but it has pretty much every color in the rainbow on it, and it is absolutely fantastic. I could see this working really well with cape or tula, or just anything that is wild and fun would look great with this as a backing. And it's fantastic. I love it so much. And we do have some cape and tula backing. Some of it you might find in our remnant section because we just have a little bit left of it, but it's enough to back a quilt with. So check that out. But this would look great with some of that cape or tula. If you just finished one and you don't have backing, this could be a good option for you. This version is still very colorful, but a little bit more subdued. So if you like color but don't want it to be so out there, this would be a really great option. All right, now we've got the same design, but we're going to look at 2 different blue colorways. This one is deeper, option of the two. It's really pretty, really gorgeous. Reminds me a lot of just water. So if you got like a summer quilt or you just really like blues, this could be fun for you. So here's the lighter of the two blues that we have. I think this would work really well with some shell rummel, just because it's a little bit softer and it definitely has that watery feel. It's definitely not as organic. It is definitely more modern and geometric in its design, but I think you could definitely use it as a quilt back. This one is really fun. I love the blue green with a little bit of pink and neon in there as well. I think this would also work really well with Cafe if you had one of those blue-green colorways. This would just look absolutely fantastic for the back. All right, so this is the last of the mod plaid from P&B. This one has a nice green background. So again, perfect for any quilts that will coordinate with that. I think good spring quilts, even fall, I think you could absolutely use this for. Christmas, lots of different applications. I do have one more backing fabric to show you from Wyndham, and then that wraps up all of our new 108-inch wide backings, so make sure you grab some so you can finish some quilts as we move into the fall season. This beautiful rainbow butterfly goodness is from Tamara Kate. It is absolutely gorgeous. This will work great for any kids quilt back. I think I may need to snag some for the eventual butterfly quilts that I'm going to do for the butterfly jars, just to have and be ready to back those quilts with someday. So I love it. We featured Tamara Kate before in our Stash with Stephanie Club, so if you still have that top to finish up, you can definitely check that out and have some fun with this. Thanks so much for following along and taking a look at some of our new arrivals with me today. You can check it all out over at shop.quiltaddictsanonymous.com, where we also have all of our tutorials where you can learn how to use all these things. And until next time, happy quilting.